Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, E.N.N.I.S Incorporated just filed their 8K, and the big story is their latest earnings announcement. But I am seeing a few things that might surprise you. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. They announce their quarterly and annual results. And while the numbers themselves are important, it is how they fit into the bigger picture that we need to unpack. So what we have here is a standard current report, or 8. Think of it as a company's way of telling the public about important events that they don't have to disclose in their regular quarterly or annual reports. Today's filing is primarily about announcing E.N.N.I.S Incorporated's financial results for the 3 and 12 months that ended on the 28th of February 2026. This news dropped on the 20th of April 2026. The main event in this filing is item 2.02, which covers the results of operations and financial condition. E.N.N.I.S Incorporated released a press release on the 20th of April 2026 to share these results. This press release is attached as an exhibit to this 8K, and it is where we'll find the juicy details about how the company performed. Now, about that press release, it is essentially the company's official statement on their recent financial performance. It covers the period ending the 28th of February 2026. This means we're getting a look at their most up-to-date operational and financial standing. Since this is a public filing, it is crucial for investors to see how the company is doing. You can imagine that this report is being closely watched by shareholders and potential investors alike, as it gives a snapshot of the company's health and its trajectory for the upcoming period. Beyond the financial results, there is a brief mention of other events. This includes the date for the 2026 annual meeting of shareholders, which is set for the 16th of July 2026. The record date for this meeting, which determines who gets to vote, is May 15, 2026. This is important for shareholders to know as it relates to corporate governance and their ability to influence company decisions. For context, E.N.N.I.S Incorporated's common stock is traded on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol EBF. This tells us it is a publicly traded company, and these filings are a requirement for transparency. The market is always watching these reports to gauge the company's performance and future prospects. For instance, looking at its market cap of $519 million and a P/E ratio of 12.2, it is a mid-sized company in the business equipment and supplies sector. Now, let's look at the broader implications. While this 8K doesn't contain the full financial tables themselves, it points us directly to the press release where those details reside. In past filings and industry reports, E.N.N.I.S has been focused on providing a wide range of printed business products and services. Companies like this often see their performance tied to the overall economic climate and the demand for marketing and operational materials. One thing to consider is that recent news headlines mention E.N.N.I.S Incorporated stock falling on Q4 2026 earnings. This 8K filing, coming out on the 20th of April 2026, likely contains the very results that led to that market reaction. When a stock falls after earnings, it signals that investors might be disappointed with the numbers or the company's outlook. It is a signal that the real numbers in the press release likely weren't as strong as expected, or perhaps forward-looking statements were concerning. Historically, companies in this sector can be sensitive to shifts in marketing spend and the adoption of digital alternatives to print. While E.N.N.I.S has a solid base of institutional investors like BlackRock and Vanguard, which indicates a level of confidence from larger players, stock price movements after earnings reports are crucial indicators of sentiment. The fact that their stock even fell suggests the financial results within that press release may have shown some weakness. What I am looking for in these types of filings, even when they just point to an attached press release, is the actual performance. Were revenues up or down? Did they meet or miss their own guidance? These are the questions that drive stock prices and determine a company's health. The market is always forward-looking, so even good results from the past might be overshadowed by concerns about the future. So, while this 8K is a bit of a signpost, pointing us to the financials rather than displaying them directly within the filing itself, the context of a stock price drop on earnings means we should be looking critically at the numbers announced. The key takeaway is that the company is updating the market on its financial health, and early reactions suggest there might be reason for caution. The risk to watch for companies like E.N.N.I.S Incorporated is the ongoing shift towards digital marketing and communication. While print still holds its ground in many areas, the long-term trend can pose a challenge. Their ability to adapt and diversify their offerings will be key to their sustained success. My biggest concern is whether the financial results released show a clear path for growth or just stability in a potentially declining market. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description.